Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mac Chats. And today we have our very first guest on, the mastermind behind Drag Race Back Bonanza, Elon Werner. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on. It's exciting to get our third season up and running.
Yeah, very exciting. So I heard you have some new things coming out for Drag Race Back Bonanza. Why don't you go ahead and share about them?
Yeah, so we started a new program. Our biggest thing with Bracket Bonanza is the window for people to sign up is kind of small, like Saturday afternoon to Sunday morning, or for like the U.S. Nationals Sunday to Monday. So over really like we started last year pulling together for the 75th anniversary the 64 greatest top fuel moments, 64 greatest pro stock motorcycle and funny car, and we now have the like top fuel major moment bracket live. So it's
Ooh,
64 top fuel moments. We seeded them in, four different brackets to make one big, like March Madness. And you basically pick, you know, Tony Schumacher's run versus, a Big Daddy Don Garlits moment or Shirley Muldowney moment versus a Brittany Force moment. So it goes from now until the Friday of Gainesville. So we have almost 2 weeks for fans to
ooh.
go and fill out these brackets for free and just kind of little conversation starter for the 75th anniversary of the NHRA. And you just basically go to dragracebracketbonanza.com and it's right there on our homepage.
That's awesome. That sounds like it's going to be really fun.
Yeah. So the whole thing, and I was actually talking to Justin Ashley about it. I've texted with Dan Wilkerson. Um, the 75th anniversary, there's so many great moments in Top Fuel history that, from like the last win in a front engine Top Fuel dragster to when Chevy was involved in the sport to Tony Schumacher moments or Don Perdome or Kenny Bernstein, the first 300 mile per hour run. And then Brittany's first 343 mile per hour. How do those kind of stack up? And ultimately, it gives us a chance to provide drag racing fans the chance to kind of share something with their non-drag racing friends that they can also kind of get involved in. Because I don't follow college basketball, but I
Right.
always do a March Madness bracket, and I
Exactly. Yeah.
just kind of pick. So that was the whole idea of is here is a cool, just fun game that you and I, as people that are in drag racing, have some hot sports opinions on, but just other people. And there's a little bit of nuggets. Like when you go to the bracket, you'll see like the kind of the moment, but then there's like a little information icon that expands it and gives a little bit more information on all 64 moments. So you have an opportunity to kind of even like learn a little bit um, through the deal.
That's really cool. That sounds like it's going to be so much fun for everybody. So, Drag Race Back Bonanza is ready to go to sign up.
Yeah. So it's fun that, you go right to dragracebracketbonanza.com. This is a great ramp up before the Gator Nationals. So for the next 2 weeks, basically, you can fill out the top moments or major moment bracket. And then Saturday night of the Gator Nationals on March 7th, we'll go live with the traditional Drag Race Bracket Bonanza game. We've already got the plaques delivered. We'll get the drivers to sign them. We'll be right back into it before we know it. Peak has stepped up with some cool prizes. Summit sponsoring the plaques again. So we'll have all kinds of things going on all year. But the big kickoff is this major moments program that's actually going to go on basically through the entire NHRA regular season. So kind of the gaps between the races. Right now, Top Fuel is going on, then Pro Stock Motorcycle, and then Funny Car. And then we'll do a fifth bracket, which is the top 16 fan voted moments from all four professional categories. We'll make one massive bracket that fans will be able to vote on their greatest drag racing moment of the 75 years.
That's going to be awesome. Holy cow. That's going to be so tough to pick all the moments. Holy cow.
Yeah. So, and it's really kind of cool. NHRA is doing theirs, but we'll kind of, and the fans got to be involved in that.
Mhm.
But I'm excited to let the Bracket Bonanza fans pick and then for them to invite their friends to play. And ultimately, the goal is just to get more people, enjoying Bracket Bonanza. It's all free. We'll do killer prizes again. And it's just a great way to get the season started a little bit before the Gator Nationals.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you have anything else about that you want to share? Or
No, I just think really the fun part about the major moments was it wasn't just me. I emailed a bunch of people in the sport. They sent me ideas. Particularly, I'm honestly a little bit more of a nitro guy, but getting 64 pro stock moments, getting 64 pro stock motorcycle moments. Greg Anderson helped out. The Vance and Hines guys helped out. Matt and Angie Smith helped out with motorcycle. I talked to guys from Elite. So it really kind of was a behind the scenes a community effort, but I'm sure I left some things out. I'm sure people are going to be like, why did you put this guy seated in the top half and this guy in the bottom half? Why did you skip this guy? And that's also, I'm here for that feedback. Feel free to bring all the smoke you want. If you don't like the bracket, let me know. I just want people to just kind of engage in it. And I already heard, one of the top fuel moments was Terry McMillan winning the U.S. Nationals. I've
oh,
always thought that was an amazing win. And like right up this morning, his wife, Corey, plays. So they did a Facebook post of like, hey, it was really cool to be included in the major moments. And, I think things like that. So I'd love to see that. But then I'm also, here for like, why didn't this guy make it? Or why didn't this moment make it? So I think ultimately my goal is conversation starter, give drag racing fans the opportunity to bring more people into the tent and just really have fun with it. And you can just sign up for free at dragracebracketbonanza.com.
that's so cool. I
Yeah.
gonna go fill out my bracket right in
Yeah.
now. Like this is so
It
awesome.
was funny talking to Justin Ashley this morning because like one of the 8-9 matchups is like Tony Schumacher's record setting top fuel win against Joe Amato being the first person to do the Western swing. And Justin Ashley was like, man, that's a tough matchup. And I was like, yeah, exactly like an 8-9 matchup should be. I mean, we
Yeah,
spent some time figuring out, and kind of particularly in Funny Car, there's so many obviously John Force moments that
right,
I tried to spread them out to where you would have to make some force on force decisions, not just, so you
right.
didn't get down to like the final 16 and it's just all John Force moments. You wanted it to be kind of spread out. The hardest one for me, honestly, was Pro Stock Motorcycle. There's a lot of great moments, but you see when you start ticking off the moments, like how dominant like Dave Schultz was, and how dominant Vance and Hines were, and then also how dominant Matt and Angie Smith.
Yeah,
Kind of finding. Luckily, Gino Scally has some moments in there, and there's some other guys, but that one was a lot of fun to kind of learn a little bit more about the sport. And then Pro Stock was really cool too, just because um, there's some moments in there that are just kind of off the wall, just because that category in the 90s and early 2000s with Daryl Alderman and Jerry Ekman and Warren and Kurt Johnson, and then Greg, going back to Rear Morrison and all, so that one has probably the widest breadth of just random stuff in it. If you don't really follow pro stock, you're going to have to like dive into those info nuggets and kind of figure out, what would I pick? But that also is the beauty of going back to the March Madness analogy of, I don't know anything about like schools like Creighton or Gonzaga or, some of these other, Troy State. I live in Dallas. So that's the kind of cool thing too, is you just have to kind of make just a little guess based on kind of some random stuff. So
right. Yeah, Gonzaga is my team because I love the name, but
right, exactly. I mean, the Zags. Come on, what's not to like? And
exactly,
so, but
it's a
yeah,
fun word to yell.
right, exactly. So, but yeah, but I'm excited about it. I think it's one of those things that really started talking about like last March or April, and was like, oh, let's see, can we do it? How do we promote it? How do we begin then getting the 64 moments and then starting to talk to people? Um, so now to actually have it live and have it out there, I'm super excited to just see what the reaction is.
Yeah, I think it's
So
going to be really great. I know a bunch of people have been sharing it on Instagram I saw earlier, so
yeah,
should be good. I really hope it reaches all of the people because everybody
Yeah.
needs to play this game.
Right. And the cool thing is, like, particularly kind of, you look for opportunities to get big groups of people. Like we're doing, Josh Hart's doing that fan fest the Wednesday before Gainesville, like massive car show, and they do a huge autograph session. So we'll have a booth there, and there'll be hundreds of people in line. And our hope is like, hey, while you're waiting in line, go ahead and fill out this bracket because like our biggest one of our biggest races every year is Bristol,
Hmm.
just for Bracket Bonanza, because they do a Saturday night autograph session.
Mm,
So while people are waiting in line, the brackets are open and we get a ton of people. And that's kind of where we're trying to work the magic with working with NHRA and working with teams, particularly on the Saturday night, during the season, to just get more people to sign up when the brackets are open. Because it's much better when you can say, hey, go to the site and fill out the bracket versus go to the site and sign up and then wait for an email to tell you brackets are open.
right,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So, but I appreciate all the support from you. And I love the fact that you got your, Tony Stewart plaque on display.
Yep.
Still, still one of I still think that's probably one of the coolest individual race plaques. It's like people like you got the Tony Stewart first Top Fuel win plaque. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I'm very appreciative to you guys for putting it on and giving out the plaques and Summit and Peak and everybody. So very cool game.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Michaela. And what race? What's the first race we'll see at?
I'll be at Norwalk. That's my first race this year.
Oh, right
So
on.
yeah.
Awesome.
So
That'll be a great one. Perfect.
yep.
All right. And also, congrats on making Chasing Speed.
Oh, thank you. I was so surprised. I was like, oh my goodness.
I,
My first reaction, I could not have recorded. I was so freaking out so bad, but
right. Yeah. I will be honest. I am a little sad that I didn't work my way into. I have not worked my way in the background yet. So
well, we got an episode left, so hopefully.
yeah, exactly. So hopefully, season finale. It'll because I was talking to Joe Costello and Jason Logan, and like being in the show almost like proves you exist in the nature of universe.
Right.
Oh yeah, I really am part of this thing that I go to all the time. So yes, I'm secretly hoping that and I'm like, okay, I think I was talking to a guy when there was a camera around, or I was
Right.
walking but I was also cognizant that I just didn't want to be that guy. So now I have FOMO of like I should have made a bigger effort.
Well, if
So
not, hopefully they'll do a second season. I remember somebody
exactly.
was
So then I'll
talking
make
about
a
that,
much more
so
concerted effort.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Perfect.
Well,
Excellent. Michaela, I
great.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, great to have you on.
Yes. Thanks so much.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah, bye.